It's difficult to have the first question, so I want to come back very briefly to a topic we had last year. We spoke a lot about COP29. Now, I think it was a huge success. My point would be, according to you, now that we are halfway in between one and the next, almost starting, how would you describe the legacy of COP29? Would it be an ongoing set of policies for Azerbaijan? And how could you actually tell other countries that COP29 was special? Not that we do 30, 31, 32 and nothing happens. So just your personal impression would be highly appreciated. How do you see the legacy? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Really, that was the event of the year for the country last year when we had this important climatic conference with the participation of 197 countries. And there was a very big audience from all over the world. There have been 77,000 registered participants, as I said, from almost 200 countries, among them 70 heads of state and government. So that clearly was a demonstration, first, of the importance of this topic, and also many people who came to Baku visited Azerbaijan for the first time, so for them, I think also it was an interesting discovery. As far as our contribution to the global climatic agenda, I would say that Azerbaijan is an ecologically friendly country. We do not use coal, we do not use fuel oil to produce electricity. We only use hydropower and natural gas, and also from recent times, solar energy. And by the way, our green agenda is very ambitious. By 2030, based on already signed investment contracts, we will have minimum 6 gigawatt of green energy, including solar, wind, and hydro. Hydro is primarily here in this area, in Karabakh and Eastern Zangezur. We already inaugurated more than 30 small hydropower stations with a total capacity of 280 megawatts. So really our green agenda is very ambitious. At the same time, my message and the message of Azerbaijan as a host country was that we should treat this issue from a realistic and pragmatic point of view. We all understand that we need to save the planet, but probably those who contribute mostly to the environmental disaster should take that burden. Small island developing states, those for whom this issue, I mean the climate change, is an existential threat, they need strong support. So that's what we were planning and trying to do. We had a special session on small island developing states. Azerbaijan allocated $10 million in a special fund to address the issue of climate change in the less developed countries. But our point of view is that you cannot ignore fossil fuels, because without fossil fuels in the foreseeable future, the world cannot function, economy cannot function, planes cannot fly, and everything will be stopped. So we must be treating this from point of view of reality. We are implementing a green transition program, but at the same time we understand that without oil and gas, it will be not possible to plan development, to plan your future, to provide necessary conditions for your citizens. It was a difficult time for us and difficult discussions, but our chairmanship provided, I think, good understanding. So we saw our role as a kind of a bridge between global south and global north. I think we managed to do it. And one of the important achievements at COP29 was that we managed to create such a constructive atmosphere, and also with our personal contribution managed to achieve the agreement on Article 6 on the functioning of carbon markets, the issue which was under discussion for at least last 10 years. So that is a very important and tangible result of COP29. Another important result we think is that we managed to agree to increase the fundings to tackle the issues of climate change from 100 billion US dollars, which was a figure prior to COP29, up to 300 billion US dollars. We know that some countries are not satisfied with that, but we must be fair because we managed to triple the funding. And of course, those who will take responsibility after us will have to do their part of the job in order to increase this funding. So these and many other issues will remain as our legacy. We launched more than a dozen initiatives, and absolute majority of countries joined those initiatives. I think there have been only 2 countries which did not join any of our initiatives, but that was purely due to political reasons, not due to the fact that these initiatives were not up to the point. Now the question is what will happen in the future, especially taking into account the position of US administration with respect to climate change, and of course United States as a global leader and the biggest contributor to climate change and also biggest investor. Its role, of course, cannot be underestimated. So a lot will depend on that. Therefore, all of us, we are looking with great hope and also with certain concern to COP30, which will take place in the end of this year. But again, as far as Azerbaijan is concerned, we are not the biggest contributor to carbon emission, as you can imagine. But our green agenda and all what we are trying to do in order to build bridges, to create understanding between different actors was duly appreciated by United Nations and by many international actors. So again, as far as we're concerned, we will continue to be committed to our green agenda, but how the COP30 and 31 and 32 will perform, that's of course an open question.